All right, can you hear us, everybody, Susan?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear us, Michele?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, welcome to the COVID Countdown. Today I am with Michele Richardson, and I know Michele for quite a long time now. She was a graduate of Kathy's and my school, Academy of Aesthetic Arts. And Michele, when you got out into the industry, you basically went almost really the medical aesthetics route. Am I right in that?
Yeah, I went straight to a med spa when I left your school. It was one that was just starting. We'd had 2 rooms that she'd rented, and I just stayed with her and watched her grow until she got her own office
Mm-hmm.
and a let's see, she has 4 estheticians now and a spa manager. So I was with her for about 5 years until she got to that point.
And then you've done some manufacturing rep or representative with laser. No, what? Tell us
Yeah,
a little bit about that.
I worked for Venus Concept as a consultant, and essentially what that meant was helping the med spas, the dermatology offices, plastic surgeons be successful with the equipment they bought from my company.
Oh.
And so it was a consultant position, and I did that for 2.5 years. There was a little bit of sales involved. We had a product line of skincare that they required that the consultants sell. So I did that as well. And I also did some training on the equipment and traveled around and trained different med spas that bought the equipment how to use it. So I kind of dabbled in a lot of different things in that 2.5 years.
Excellent. So, but you kind of recently come to a little bit of a bump in the road. You were recently hired and recently let go from a new med spa startup. So tell us a little bit about what that's been like to actually be laid off and what you're planning to do with your job. Are you planning to go back, or is it temporary because of COVID-19? So share with us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I started working in the 1st of February for a doctor that was opening his second location for a clinic with CBD, and he wanted to open a med spa. So he hired me to be the operations manager for that med spa. But the 7 weeks I was there, they didn't get any movement forward on the build out on that. So when this COVID-19 crisis came down, it made perfect sense for them to lay me off, because I'm certainly not essential when I don't have anything to manage. This layoff has been a big stress relief on one hand. Of course, on the other hand, I'm unemployed and looking for a job, and there's a good number of them out there. I look on the job sites about every other day, but I'm fairly certain that even though they're still listing that they have job openings, I don't think they're actively hiring. I haven't heard from anybody, and it's probably been 2 weeks since I've applied for about 5 or 6 different positions, and they're still on the websites, so they haven't hired anyone, but I just have a feeling they're at a standstill.
Yeah. Well, I guess the good news is that you were employed. So unlike someone in Susan and my position where you're self-employed,
Right.
the process for filing for unemployment will be rather rapid for you versus someone who
Right.
is self-employed. So what have you been doing with your time?
Well, let's see. I painted an end table in one of my bedrooms, and I started painting my kitchen because I wanted the cabinets to be white instead of natural wood. So I started on that, and it's going to take me all 30 days to get that kitchen done.
Well, that's a good
I'm working
endeavor.
about 3 hours a day.
That's a good endeavor there then. Susan, do you have any questions for Michele?
Michele, I heard through the grapevine that you might be looking for a job at a liquor store. Did that ever come to fruition? Or?
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get that job. I applied for it, and I called them a couple days later because I hadn't heard from them, and they told me they really wanted somebody full-time, and I just really don't want to get a job outside of the industry that's more than part-time, because I want to be able to pick up where I left off if someone offers me something.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily want a liquor store position on your bridge gap, in your gap of your employment.
Well, there could be better choices, yes.
Yeah, maybe a supplement store or something like that. However, if it meant we'd get a discount on some screwball,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
because ladies, if you haven't tried peanut butter liquor in your coffee, I recommend it highly. It's delicious.
Is it good in coffee?
Super delish. Oh, this stuff's good in everything. You could put this in salad dressing and it would be fabulous. But I'm a peanut butter person. So when they came
I
out
am
with
too.
peanut butter whiskey, I'm like, well, let me see how many cases of this I can figure out to cook with. So if I could come up with a peanut butter facial,
Yeah.
but so many
Ooh.
nut allergies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
So now, if as you get back into the industry, are you still going to pursue the medical aesthetic side of it?
Well, I imagine, that's my first choice because that's what my experience is in and it's what I'm used to, but I'm not going to be picky in regard to, I'd like to get a job in the industry. So I'm going to go where I can get a job.
Well, you have a good work history. And for those estheticians out there that are young estheticians, I think this is a real, especially coming out of school or you're in school. And it was funny when Kathy and I had the school, we used to ask the girls, how many of you want to go into medical aesthetics? I mean, how many of you want to be in a luxury day spa? How many of you want to be self-employed? And almost half the hands would go up for medical aesthetics every time.
Really?
Yeah, well, I think we all want free fillers and Botox and boob jobs, but
Oh, well, sure. Why not?
I think that was the thinking. I don't know. I think also there's a misnomer that working in medical aesthetics is a super high paying job.
Oh,
And, tell
well,
us about those entry level jobs, Michelle, for someone who's pursuing a medical aesthetics
yeah.
career.
I don't know much about the non-medical side because I've not worked in it, but I think, yes, consistently you make more money in med aesthetics, but I don't know that it's such a huge percentage that it makes that big a difference. I think it's more important to go for what you enjoy and what you understand. Like I said, I've only worked at one med spa and it was a hourly plus commission structure. And I was able to make really good money there, but there's only so many hours in the week. And so, if you're booked out as much as you can be, you're capped out at what you can make too. And that's true of any aesthetics position. We can only sit in the chair for so many hours a week without being exhausted. So it's better to have a higher paying hourly and maybe a better commission structure.
Yeah.
Consistency. That's the thing I think people really like about the med spa jobs is that it is very consistent, whereas being self-employed, not necessarily, no benefits, and it's all you.
Yeah.
Where do you see medical aesthetics going after this COVID crisis?
Well, it's funny because I really believe that cosmetologists are in a recession-proof industry because everybody's going to get their hair done.
Agreed.
I don't know that it's the same in aesthetics because it's kind of like, what's the first thing you let go when you get laid off? Well, if you had someone cleaning your house, that's probably one of them. Number two, you're probably going to get rid of your monthly facials because no one's going to really know if you're doing those or not. Now, your nails, they're going to notice that. So you're probably going to continue to get your nails done. You're going to continue to get your hair colored.
Your lashes. I think lashes are another one
Right.
that if you love having the lashes, you're probably not going to give up lashes.
I agree.
But
Yeah,
but your Brazilians, you might go a little longer in between because who knows about that?
right.
You hope not many.
Yeah.
But no, I think the other thing I'm interested to see is I think that because of COVID-19, I think medical aesthetic spas are actually going to kind of start to come up on the increase just because of the perception that medical is safer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's a good
right.
point.
And especially with this uncertain virus that really they can't seem to pinpoint it. nobody can pinpoint its origins. They have speculation. Nobody can pinpoint, you know, nobody knows what it's really going to do in the end. So I think medical is going to see an increase. And I think if you were established, I think you'll be okay. I think you'll come out ahead. But I think if you're new starting out, you might have to reevaluate where you go. So estheticians who aren't sure they're going to go back into self-employment, keep an eye on the medical aesthetic industry over the next 6 months to a year, because there may be jobs coming open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Very
So
true.
Who knows?
Yep, who knows? Well, is there any advice you'd give to someone who's looking to get into medical, like how you word your resume or how you create that letter of intent to get hired?
Right.
Who should you reach? How should you position yourself to be able to apply and get those positions?
Well, I I guess I kind of went into a situation that's kind of an anomaly, because very few med spas want to hire someone that doesn't have med spa experience. So, and let's face it, you don't get med spa experience when you go to school. You only get the basics. And so if they can do some courses like laser or peels or just whatever they can find out there, I know it costs money, but if they could get a couple of those kind of things under their belt, I think it would help a lot when they apply. They may not have the actual experience in the spa, but they've got a certification for some of the things that med spas do. A cover letter, I think, is definitely important. A lot of the med spas, the doctors are the ones that do the hiring or look through the applications. And if you can be as professional as possible, I think that helps a lot. It may not be as necessary in just a regular spa setting to do that, but I always think that a cover letter and sending your references along with it is important.
Yeah, it's hard to be sequestered, isn't it? How are you handling it, Susan? You've got kids though, and that keeps you entertained.
I'm handling it well. I like being at home. I'm really happy the weather has been nice. That has been helpful. I was thinking the other day about, like, if this was in January, how much worse it would be.
It
or
would be cabin fever
every day. Yeah. So I'm doing well. I feel like I'm still at the beginning. I'm looking forward to having some time to actually get stuff done. Right now, it's just kind of triage, doing stuff around the house with the kids and feeding them and keeping them entertained, homeschooling, all that good stuff. So ask me in another week or so.
Yeah,
I don't envy you. You've got a hard task.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just like summer's upon us right now. And so I wasn't really prepared and mentally prepared, but I'm getting there. Yeah,
I don't know how you could have been, Susan. Who knows what we were going to go through with this homeschooling and all that. I would go crazy. I'm so glad that my kids are old enough that they're in college. They do their own homeschooling.
For sure. I mean, I'm on spring break and I get notification there's no more school for the entire year. I'm like, huh. Okay.
Yeah. Well, now what?
Is there online programs that you're directing your children to, or are the schools handling the online education?
The Olathe School District has a program, yes. And so it's kind of self-guided, but they came out with it actually yesterday, a structured program. My daughter's loving it. My son is upset. So,
Oh, I bet, especially if he's social.
He's social, but he just doesn't think school belongs at home.
Well, he might have a point there. I know that the beauty colleges, and this is interesting, for the cosmetologists and the estheticians and nail technicians out there, I know that a lot of the beauty colleges have gone to the Zoom meeting type 4 hours a day of classroom, a virtual classroom. So I think it's going to be an interesting tell as to where vocational college can go to. I've been, for years saying we need to allow distance learning in our industry for a lot of the things, because we have moms who stay home with their kids. And you could be getting part of your cosmetology, aesthetics, nails, massage, all of those things through distance learning. A lot of the science is out of the way.
Sure.
And then come in, learn your labs, then come in and and do your clinics and really run it like a real college. And I'm really hoping this is a wake-up call for our industry, because I think we tend to, having owned a beauty college, I think we tend to, when they come in, I was always reminding my instructors, these aren't kids, these are adults. So you got to treat your student body as your clients, as your customers, because they are our customers, and where they've purchased something that they have a right to ask for, which is a quality education. And so if we approach this, we take this as a blessing and approach the way we educate in a new way, I think some amazing things are going to happen for this industry, especially regarding the medical side.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine, Michele, if we could have been able to teach you guys the lasers while you were in school? We had lobbied for that for a long time, and we were just kind of getting there when, our circumstances changed. So I think this is exciting, because you go out of school and the first thing you have to do is go drop $3,000 to $8,000 to get that certification so you can get a job in a med spa. Yeah. And I think that's kind of not keeping your eye on the ball where the industry is trending and staying up with trend.
I think you're right. I think this is an opportunity for you to jump in and do that, Malinda.
Yep.
Sure. I'm going to need more than a fifth of screwball for that. Yeah. I used to say been there, done that, but I'm still very passionate about this industry, and I don't necessarily want to give up, offering what I can and bringing in quality educators to share with graduates. If you get out of school and you get your license, and I had to invest in myself, how many classes, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars I've spent on continuing education and continue to do so. And I'm sure, Susan, you do as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. And travel and all that. And so maybe this is going to up the online learning community. I think even for grade schools, high schools, cosmetology, whatever it is, you're right, a wake up call. I mean, this has got to be available.
Yeah.
Because who knows what's next?
Yeah. Well, yeah, don't say that. Don't jinx us.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know. Well, Michele, I just want to say how much we appreciate you taking this time to talk to us.
Sure.
Even in, the unpleasant circumstance of being laid off, but I think it's part of our industry that, maybe the cosmetologists and nail technicians, I know they're aware of it, but, they also want to be aware to have a relationship with someone on that side of the industry so that you can get referrals, because once you've done medical and all those things, you do need a place to go for maintenance, right? And sometimes that spa level is the best place to go. Before we leave, though, we do want to mention, again, the Salon Spa Connection fundraiser for sure. If you know anyone that can make donations to those in need, I'm sure, Susan, you can tell us a little bit more about the application process. I'm curious to see how many more applicants have applied and if the donations are picking up.
We have just started to get a couple more donations. Getting applications is definitely not a problem. There's a lot of people in need, and the government's offering the unemployment, and SBA is doing their loans, and so at least there's a little bit more help rather than just what I'm doing. But man, I tell you what, we could really use food donations, gift certificates, baby items, anything anybody has to give to our cosmetologists, our barbers, and our massage therapists and esties that are out of work would be super helpful. You can get that information at salonspaconnection.com on our homepage, and you can sign up to receive donations, or you can make donations through GoFundMe or through Salon Spa Connection.
Great. Okay, well, thanks everybody. We are so grateful that you came on with us today, Michele. I'm excited to see the pictures of your kitchen. I'm excited to see if you get a part-time job at a liquor store that I can come get your company discount from.
We shall see.
And I do recommend you go out there and find some peanut butter mommy helper for your coffee. Yep. I'm dog sitting today. I'm puppy sitting. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'm puppy sitting. Well, he's 1.5 years old.
Oh,
but
good.
Yeah. So George and I are being grandparents to the puppy today. So he likes to be around people. So it's going to be a fun day. So I will.
Good luck with that.
Yep, and Susan, I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of COVID Countdown. And thank you guys
Right.
very much.
Thank you, Michelle.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.